What is up guys, Andy Forrest Team Runner here. Welcome back to another video. This is the first race vlog of 2023. This is the goal race of the 10k block. This is the Lliswerry 8. So welcome back to another race vlog. I'm by a busy road, so I do apologise. Walking down to the start, 50 minutes, drop the family off at the retail centre to do a bit of shopping. I'm walking now down to get my bib. It's 10:30, so I have an hour until race start. Got the Next Percent V1s on, brand new pair for this year. Got my club vest on and the Saw Racing shorts. I'm excited to get going. The only problem this morning, this hat. So both my Ben Parks hats are trusty and I use them for every single race. They're in the wash. I've used them both this week and I totally forgot about it, so I had to grab a Say Sky hat, but I put the clip on this hat and the clips popped open 2 or 3 times. The quality is not as good as Ben's hats. Ben says they're the best in the business. I've got to agree. This thing's popped open twice, so I'm hoping it stays on the head throughout the race. We'll see how we go. Let's get the number, let's do a bit of a warm-up. Hopefully the hat stays all together in one piece. If it doesn't, I'll be lobbing it into the hedge and just grabbing the camera and running with it. We'll see how we do.
Who's going to win between Hopkins, Turner and Hughes?
Hello Andy. Hello mate.
A proper race debrief shortly, but quick reaction straight off the back of that is, oh my goodness. So one thing I forgot to do was set my mile laps to go off, so it just was stayed on average pace. I didn't get any mile splits, no live data, just saw average pace. Hold on, before I get run over, just cross the road. And I was just watching the average pace just stay at 5:30 the whole way, and I just cut down. First couple of miles I warmed into it, and then I just clipped off and I just kept catching up packs, passing them, catching up another pack, passing it. It was just insane. I just felt so good. And I say one thing to you now, strength and conditioning, that is what's made the difference. So there we go, the dust has settled back now in the office. Time to give you guys a bit of a race recap. But first, to answer that question that I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not sure how the cap would do. Yep, that didn't go quite to plan, and that had to change in the first mile. So I'll go through that in the blow by blow, but I had to hold the camera in my hand and record the whole time. So that was a bit frustrating, but lessons learned for the next race. Overall, I just want to say a massive thanks to Lliswerry runners for putting on such a fantastic event. The depth in that race in terms of quality is just unreal, and I can see why it sells out in a day. When it goes on sale, it's gone within a day. It was absolutely crazy, and the winning time was 39 minutes and 40 something or 50 something, which is sub 5-minute miles for 8 miles straight, which is just incredible. And there was just so many good, incredible results out there. I think second place was 41 minutes something, but then the quality between 41 and 42 minutes was just insane. So it's great to be out there racing in such a high caliber of athlete field race. It was just brilliant to put myself out there. And yeah, once again, a massive thanks to Lliswerry for hosting it. Let me give you a quick blow by blow, because my mind is still blown at how the race went. I'm absolutely over the moon. We'll talk about expectations versus what actually happened. I basically went out there not knowing what I should be doing. And I was having a chat with Martin, a Lliswerry runner, saying, look, maybe let's start at 5:40 and work into it, see what 5:30s happen. To be honest with you, I didn't think 5:30s would happen in the slightest, just because of the last couple of weeks coming back from the glute injury. I just kind of felt in training, although I said to you I felt strong on those reps, I was running sort of like mid 5:30s pace, and I know on that industrial estate where I run, I know the pace translates to faster when I get into a race, not only because I'm well fueled and there's adrenaline and I'm in race mode, but I just find that industrial estate, I can always shave a few seconds off when it comes to race time. But you know, I struggled to get below 5:30s in that taper workout, and I just thought to myself, do you know what, we're going to go out there, feel strong. And that's exactly what we did, and I absolutely blew my expectations away. So started the race, and I could feel straight away that the hat was bouncing around, the camera was bouncing on that first opening clip. And although assessing the clip now, it's fine, it doesn't look bad, I could feel the camera bouncing, and I was so worried that it was going to come off that as soon as I stopped recording, I thought, right, in the first half mile, spin the cap around, wear it normally, take the camera out, and just you're going to have to carry the camera, because I'm not going to record all of this footage and go through this race to show you guys a vlog where the camera is bouncing around. I did it at a Severn Bridge race a couple of years ago. It was a nightmare. The footage was terrible. So that was the first decision in the first half a mile, was just to carry the camera, which is fine. It's lightweight, and I was carrying it. I couldn't get quite a good grip because I had gloves on, but either way, it was fine. And I caught up to Martin, and we sat in, going for that first 5:40 mile. But I said to him, mate, this is quick, and my watch was showing 5:35 at the time, and he said, yeah, do you know what, let's see what happens. So we clicked the first mile off. Now, I didn't have my lap splits coming up on my watch. I left it at average pace. I have stopped auto lap on my watch. I stopped it through the last marathon block, but I was switching it back on for races. I didn't switch it back on for this one, so all I had on screen was average pace. So I roughly went through the first mile at 5:34, 5:35. And I was like, okay, I actually feel really good here. I don't know what's going on. I feel strong. We might blow, but I'm going to go for it. So at that point, I just there was a pack up ahead, and I said to Martin, I said, mate, do you know what? It's going to be windy out there today. I want to get into a pack to get some shelter for whatever point that happens. There's a pack about 50 meters up the road. Let's just chase them down and get there. So I put the hammer down to catch up to the pack. Martin didn't come with me. He stayed back, and we ended up going our separate ways at that point. I caught up to the pack. Problem was, I got to the pack and I felt so good, I didn't want to settle into their pace. So I just went straight around the pack. And this was the story of the race. To sum it up, I just would see a pack, caught the pack, went round the pack, and go again. And then it got to a point where I did that sort of a mile 2, 3, 4-ish. I think I caught up to a couple of packs at that point. And yeah, it started to string out. I was then picking off individuals. I was then trying to pick off little clusters of 2 or 3 runners together. One thing to note that I was really, really grateful for in this race was that I just continually passed people, but I don't think I got past once. So my goal was just to continually chip away. And what Corey said to me at the start was, mate, I'm going to go out there at 5:30, see how it feels, and see if I can finish strong in the 5:20s and get under 44 minutes. And I thought to myself, I can continually see Corey, and for those of you who don't know, Corey's my teammate. I can see him. He's about 100 metres up the road, and if I can just keep him at that level and distance, I know that I'm running a good race, and that's exactly what I did through mile 3, mile 4. I was watching him hit a pack, go around the pack, pass the pack, and I thought, do you know what? If he can do it, I can do it. So I went with him basically. Although I was 100 metres apart, I just kept it. He was my focus throughout the whole race. So I went round everybody. I just sort of kept chipping people off. Got to sort of mile 6. And I was like, wow, I've just literally split 10k in low 34 minutes, like 34.04, 34.05. And I think to myself, February last year, I ran Bourton 10k, which is a flat and fast road race, minor hill, but flat and fast, set my PB there at 34.10, 34.11. So I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I've just gone quicker than what I did last February, which I'd hoped to because my PB is now 33.38, but I just thought to myself, this is really interesting. This is fast, faster than I thought I would do today. But at that point, I was just like, hang on, and my watch was hovering at 5:30s, average per mile, because remember, it wasn't coming up the splits. And the last 2 miles, I was just picking off individuals, and I just had to hold on. The last mile was tough. Heart rate really did go up, I could feel it, but overall, I just felt so strong. Came into the finish 44.08, and yeah, 5:30. Well, my watch said 5:29 per mile, but it clocked over the distance. So it was obviously naturally 5:30 per mile, which is something I never thought I would do today, especially after the glute niggle. And that made me grateful of 2 things. Number 1, grateful for my decision not to race some of those races that I had. Like I had 3 races leading up to this where I was either ill, injured, or I chose not to race. And it was really hard, but I really wanted to get out on the start line, and today justified that. That race justified it. And secondly, how I managed the glute injury, just by backing off, easing off, not racing Hereford because I knew it would make it worse. Just keeping a gentle ticking over of miles allowed me to keep fitness, but let the glute heal at the same time. Really grateful for making that decision. I feel like it's one of my more smarter decisions, and it allowed me to go out there and run what I ran. I came 11th overall in a field of incredible runners that would normally wipe the floor of me. I felt strong, I felt good, and I'm eternally grateful for Will's coaching. I mean, this block has been incredible. It's been so good, and the main thing that I want to hammer home, strength and conditioning. My posture, bar the last mile where I really started to struggle a bit, those first 7 miles, I felt upright. I felt so good. My cadence was 174 for the race. I don't think it's ever been that high for a race ever, and it dropped in the last mile as I started to suffer. But those first 6-7 miles, it was brilliant. So overall, I've got to say that was a dream race. It went incredibly well. I shattered my expectations for the day in terms of after the glute niggle. If I hadn't have had that, I would have been shooting for 5:20s. But to get 5:30 on the mark shows me that I'm not as far away as I thought I would be, and I'm delighted to hit that going into the marathon block. So there we go. That is the blow by blow. There really is nothing to it. It just was a case of catch a pack, run past them, catch a pack, run past them, and then catch people and run past them, and just hold on for dear life at the end. Absolutely delighted, over the moon, and what a way to start the year. Such a contrast to the Hereford 10 miler last year when it was a terrible race. I'm buzzing, and I'm so grateful for all of your support. So that's it for the race vlog today. I've waffled on long enough, but hopefully it gives you an idea as to where my levels are at, how I'm feeling, and just like, wow, just over the moon to kickstart this training block with that result under my belt. Thank you so much once again, Lliswerry runners, and thanks so much you guys for supporting. Appreciate it. Can't wait to see you next weekend in the marathon training series. I'll see you then. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. I'll see you in the next one. Until then.